I was videoing a wee while ago, and my apologies for having to get cut off. I had to deal with something, so apologies for that. So that's me back. Anyway, so last week, getting into last week, coming into the beginning of the week was a wee bit rough, you know, and kind of let myself go a wee bit. So I did, you know, and I woke up and I was confused and all the stuff that comes with dealing with addiction, with dealing with the illness that I have, that I suffer from, you know, and you can go flat really quickly. So you can do that by doing too much or too little. So you have to, in recovery, it's very, very pertinent, and it's very, very important that you find a balance between recovery, you know, and doing stuff out with you that you enjoy, going to swimming, going to cold water therapy, doing this, doing that, doing the next thing. It's all that type of stuff, you know. So usually what I would do was I would just fucking press yourself the truck button and whatever. You know, these days I try and be a bit more honest, and I was honest about how I was feeling. And I wrote names down that are my close confidence, my close circle, you know, and I told every single one of them. So I did. And that's because I've learned to do that, you know. I was a liar all my days, you know, manipulator and liar, and I was really good at it, do you know what I mean? And the thing is that even in prison, I have a tag on my marker that says I don't like bullies, whatever, and I hate bullies. But see, when I think back to some of the stuff that I've done and the other people, really it boils down to bullying myself, right? And being a bully myself. And that's the truth of the matter, you know, and it's, see, when you realise that, it's quite hard to take, but there you go, that's illness, addiction for you, and that's exactly how I suffer for these things. So I'm back up on my feet, doing what I'm doing. So I went to the recovery cafe today, and it was an open day, you know, and I posted pictures actually, and I met some of my relatives, you know, and I hadn't seen them for a long time, and it was a fucking good, it was really nice to bump into them, you know. I got a wee bit upset when I went outside, you know, but my pal backed me up, you know, and I came back up the road. I'm not doing much. I've got a home group this evening, so I start just after 6. We run that to about 9 o'clock. I'm a group member there, so that's my Friday night took up. So as I don't know if he's watched the last video anyway, but look at that for a present. Just like that, right? The real deal. This thing's a beast. So it is, you know. Very, very, very good. Look at the box, right? It's paper, but look at the pouch for it to go inside to keep it safe. Do you know what I mean? With the box, that was a really nice present. So it was an expensive present to boot, you know. So I look after that. I like watches, so I do, and I've lost a couple of good, real expensive good ones, you know, and thing me. So this one, no, can do water, whatever. So I don't even need to take this off, you know what I mean? But I probably will. I'm not as clumsy these days that I'm not fucking falling about and that and whatever. So here's a story, right? So last week there, right, bang, I goes down, I'm going to get the brakes fixed on my bike anyway. So I goes round anyway, and I ends up hitting a bump. The bike ends up getting out of control. I pull the brakes, right, and they're not working good, right, and I've ended up crashing the bike and hurting my arm, right, so I'm really annoyed, right, and I flung the bike onto the side. Anyway, I'm talking to a boy in a motor, and it's only for the best part of 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever that is. We're having a quick chat, he's asked me if I'm alright, and I've turned around and somebody stole somebody stole the bike, right? Now, they're probably dead by now if they're flying about on this, because I had to get it really do a lot to get it fixed. So they're off of the bike, so I don't have a bike anymore. That's it. So if we go on, anyway, Roscoe, you alright, brother? Nice to see you, man. Sean, I'm okay, man. Tony G, hail, boy, right, okay. Then we've got with Tony again. You were living in the jungle. Right, what was I doing? Was I living in the jungle, Tony? Right, okay. Aye, I think so, mate. Sometimes you go and negotiate with. So I was talking about, funnily enough, I was talking about the Gorbals yesterday, right? And I was telling somebody, I says, I treated the Gorbals like a game reserve, right? That's the way I looked at the Gorbals, right? It was like a game reserve. And that's very much what you do in addiction, right? What you do is that you're in a fucking concrete jungle, right? And you can either be a wolf or you can be a sheep. Right, that's the bottom line, and I treated it like a game reserve, you know what I mean? I stopped playing it and got what I need today, and so did many other people, right? And many poor characters who stood on, which isn't good, that's why we need to make amends today. So, well, but that's what the Gorbals was like, a game reserve, so, and it had a lot of game in it, believe me. So that was about that. Anyway, so I've done my weekly planner for next week. As I say tonight, I've got the thing, me. I got this was an open day. What about that wee bit of kit? Yeah, it's excellent, isn't it? And it's all highlighters, right? So it is. So highlighters, good bit of stuff, and that comes from Game Care, who are a gambling support mob, right? If anybody's got a problem with gambling, right? Game Care, look them up, they can help you, so they can, right? Promote that one, right? Also, With You is a good place as well, and there's many other places, you can link in with. As I say, anybody that's having any issues or struggling, whatever, send me an email or, send me a thing in the comments, or, I can, get in touch with me, especially if you're in Glasgow area. And what I'll do is that, I'll link you up with whoever I can, do you know what I mean? No, I'm no can't do magic, but, I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people that would help you if you're struggling, so that's it's important for you to remember, I'm here for you all the time, and I'll do my best by you if you need any sort of help, do you know what I mean? Because beginning to use, that helps me, just the way it is that you sitting, listening to me, tolerating my nonsense sometimes is really good for me, and it doesn't do what it used to do, build my ego up and all that, and I thought I'm walking about as if I'm Al Pacino, do you know what I mean? With an ego the size of a block, a flats on my back, and that put me right out the door. That ego had to be smashed, What happened at that point actually is we have a thing called a super ego, so we do, right? And that's exactly what happened to me the other day when I had to get honest about how I felt and all that. I was my ego was starting to grow and grow, and suddenly the super ego kicks in, right? Smashes the ego at the road and tells you, right, the real deal. Fucking get honest, right? That's what it's all about, right? It's not about hiding, it's not about messing about, it's not about anything else, it's about honesty. So, honesty it is. It was quite a few days, to be honest, Do you know what I mean? I've not got my glasses back yet actually either. I mean, I had two pair and I got one pair back, you know, but they're hurting my eyes, so I'm not wearing them. Bear with me. Yeah, Ross, be alright, son. You know what I mean? Everybody's having a laugh. Aye, Tony, you're right. I lived in the jungle for years and it was fucking wild. You know what I mean? No, aye, fucking. I was one of the chimps flying through the trees, I think. Do you know what I mean? Aye. Although, do you know, I was a chimp with a severe narcotic problem. Anyway, I've noticed actually on YouTube there's a couple of characters that have clickbaited me. Sorry, have. And they've no, they came out with stories about me on these two and all that, and call me this and call me that, and saying I'm a psychopath and I'm this and that, and the next time I'm any of these things, right? What I'm as a guy that lived, right, under conditions, right, that it was do or die, and what happened was, is I happened to come out the other end here, right? I'm not a bad guy, right? Don't get me wrong, I can turn at the drop of a hat, right, for the right reasons, right? I try not to, but I know it's in there, right? It'll always be in there, right? But, see me, I'm very, very, right, forgiving, and I'm very good-hearted, so am I, right? And I'll help you with anything, do you know? I'll get a Jake off my back if it came. I actually had to do that a few weeks ago, do you know what I mean? With a guy that was struggling, and as I say, the conditions around me and the way I was living dictated exactly how I felt and how I reacted to that. So it's not like that today, do you know, we're out the jungle, do you know, and hopefully you are too, do you know. Thanks for taking the time to sit and listen to me, and do you know, and nobody's criticising me or whatever. Although I'll tell you what, right here, anybody wants to criticise me or they think I'm doing something wrong or I'm not right or whatever, do you know, I'm not going to hide for that. I'm going to take that on board, do you know, and I'm going to ask you the question, why do you think this, do you know, and I'll answer any questions, good or bad, do you know what I mean? Because it helps solve things up. Sometimes people get a wrong impression. Sometimes people just want to talk about you because they're arseholes. You know what I mean? They type only, do you know, only for me. Do you know? They make me mad. You know, the ones that want to shout and ball and call you this and that and next time, do you know, and then when they see you, they want to cuddle you. You know what I mean? They're just characters. I've got 24 carat swaggers on 9 carat feet, right? Their heads writing checks that their body can't cash, right? No, so fire away, do you know what I mean? I couldn't care less. What I know today is that I'm fucking alive, right? And I've got an option today. So I've got an option to be good or to be bad, and I choose to try and be a better person today, right? See, I was saying in a meeting yesterday, we were talking about working your way up the tree. Sometimes it's not good at the top of the tree, because you climb that tree thinking that it's only got one branch, right? You get to that branch and you think you're top of the fucking world, right? See, when you fall, you hit every other branch in the way down, right? And that's what you've got to watch out for. And I think what happened to me last week is although physically I hit rock bottom a long time ago, I think mentally that's what happened to me the other day, right? I think that was my mental rock bottom. So it was, and who cares, right? It's done now. I'm on my feet and I'm ready to go. So I'm getting back to the swimming and stuff like that, doing what I'm needing to do. Do you know what I mean? Get a good solid group around me, and I'm alright. And I've got yous as well, right? So I've got yous as well, right? No, don't think that me, or anybody else associated with me, right, would think otherwise. Because I'll tell you what, I give yous all the credit and respect, and I take my hat off to yous, right? Because it's not easy to listen to me sometimes, do you know what I mean? And sometimes it can get quite dark, do you know, and I don't like doing that. I don't like going into kind of dark stuff. I like to, what do you call it, be a bit lighter, do you know, and a bit light-hearted and whatnot. So a guy goes to the doctor, so he does, he's got a big lump in the middle of his forehead, right? Doctor goes like, look, I'm afraid I've got bad news for you. He says, what's happening, doctor? He says, you've got a penis growing out your forehead, right? He's went, what? He says, you've got a penis growing out your forehead. The guy turns around and says to the doctor, wait a minute. He says, every time I look in the mirror, he says, I'm going to see a big cock. And the doctor says to him, no, you won't need to worry, the buzz will cover your eyes. Yeah. I don't know if he's like that or not, right, but I flung that in there, right, a wee bit of jest, do you know, not too dark, not too dark. I've heard some horrific ones, no, guys in prison that just came out with pure horrific, man. Sorry, my mouth's gone all dry, you know, that's the drugs I take for my transplant, that, man. Sorry, they fucking make my mouth bone dry, especially when I'm talking too much, or I'm doing this, you know, it's sing me. But I'll get by it. So, how are yous? Yous alright? Right? Anybody know alright? Anybody want to start a question up that we can chat about? If you want, put a question up, we'll have a chat about it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm easy about any situation, you know, but if there's anybody here watching us at this moment in time and you're having a hard time, please let me know and we'll have a dash at trying to sort it out, do you know, and trying to get to the bottom of it. But without breaking your anonymity and without, I'm not going to diagnose you with anything like that, right? Self-diagnosis is a multi game. Trust me, I've tried it. So I hope these are all good. So I was saying, spot on, my man. Thanks very much, Sean70. Thanks very much for that, right? Mark Moore. You're right, mate. That's exactly what we call him, right? Right. Thanks, Matt, again, right, nice watch, Gerry, happy birthday, thanks very much, mate, I appreciate that. And my beautiful pets, hi, how are you doing, are you okay? Oh, it's just alright to see a wee bit more, know what I mean, you're alright. As I say, Roscoe, how are you doing, son? Tony G, these are legends, man, so these are, Matt, every one of these, right, happy birthday, Chief, right, for Big, right? Thanks very much, Big. I appreciate that. So I do. Appreciate that, you know. I'm trying to build this channel up a wee bit, you know what I mean? And because I know that if I build it up, you know, I look at the Artwood video that I done, right? And it's got over 400,000 views, right? And it's got fucking, I couldn't count how many across other platforms, right? But we're away on 420,000 views or something. Now, that's a lot. It's blew up bad for a normal, everyday punter, right? Now, there was a bit of a job done on me, the way they described me and all that and whatever, right? That's not me. I'm just a guy who fucking looks after myself, who can look after myself, that's all, right? I'm not a gangster, I'm not a hard man, I'm not any of these things, right? You know, I'm just a guy that got himself into some positions that he had to get himself out of, right? And unfortunately, bad things happened through that. And as I say, I went to jail for a long, long time, and I done my bit, and I try to make amends a day and try, but sometimes people don't want to know, and I'm not going to hurt myself for them by forcing it on them. Definitely no. So, aye. So just call me a nice guy, Just call me fucking Big Gerry, the nice guy, right? And we'll leave it. We'll leave it at that. I've not been called that very many times, I'll tell you. So I have. So it's a piss day today. My windies are absolutely covered with rain. My curtains are blown a bit, and it looks as if it's no storm. So this morning it was jeans and boots and my heavy jacket, because that's what I out the other day after the sunshine we've had. Do you know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, yeah, my pride and all that, my vanity's all kicking in, do you know what I mean? Because I've managed to get myself a decent colour about me with the sun and all that, and this, that, and next thing. Now I'm looking at that rain and I'm thinking, you've fucking fucked me up for fucking making sure I keep a good colour about me. Do you know? And to be honest, I shouldn't even be running about out in the sun, because I don't have any immune system, and it's very easy to get skin cancer when you're a transplant patient. No, so I'll need to start, if it does get warm again, I'll get the factor 50 off the doctor, the medical roll on. So anyway, other than that, I'm alright. All my meds and all that are all done, they're all set out, they're ready to go. I'm sitting, I try and have a time myself. So as I say, I done my planner, and now I'll colour it all in, and that can go in my fridge. I try and do that every week, and it means it gives you some sort of structure to your week, even if you want to change it. You know what I mean? That's what we'll do. But things are alright. No, things are alright. And it's so what do you do? Do you know what I mean? Is there anything anybody wants to talk about? Let's see. Happy birthday, Chief. Thank you. Big. Appreciate you coming on and offering support to others. Thanks, mate. Tony G. Your part's excellent, big man. On regular. And I'll try, mate. Thanks very much, Tony. Liz says hi. Hi, yeah, Liz. Aye, try and get anybody to subscribe or whatever, and I can start bringing content. I can start bringing people on and doing different things, because there's a lot of good ideas, and I don't want to necessarily make this channel about just about a laugh. No, we will have laughs and jokes, and we'll have conversations about things that make us laugh. I'll try and make you laugh sometimes. I don't know how that fares. I don't know how you feel about me, the way I speak. But what I'm going to tell you is that, and this is bang on, right? You don't see enough women, right, on here telling their stories. You don't see enough couples telling their stories, and you don't see enough youngsters, right, telling their stories, over 18, I mean, right, because everybody's got a story to tell, right, and I'll tell you what, there needs to be something done about the youngsters these days, right. Some people need to start putting themselves out there and helping them and looking at them with a view to bringing in a better sort in our next generation, definitely. So we're looking at types of things like that. So that's about the long and short of that. What's the most challenging part of transitioning from prison to civilian life? Right, now that's a cracking question, right? So it is, and that comes from inspirational ambivert, right? Transitioning from prison. Now, I never ever I'm going to be honest with you, right? Now I done an anger management program, and it lasted a year, right? And it was in Kilmarnock prison when it was private, right? And I smashed this, brilliant. No, I done it with flying colours, right? Anger management, aye. And then I went out and committed a crime and somebody died, right? Uh, and I think back about it, right? And I can go like that, the anger management didn't work, right? I'm going to be truthful. I wasn't angry when I done that, right? I wasn't angry, right? I just go into a different mode, and it's no anger, it's focus, right? Focus on no getting myself caught out, right? So I go to prison. It is my time now. They keep asking me to do courses, anger management courses now, and because of what's happened, I'm saying no. Now, I don't want to go to an open prison, right? And I don't want to go to an open prison for one reason, right? You have to be around other prisoners, right, up there. Now, there's a lot of good boys up there, right? But there's a lot of characters that are wrong, right? Including rapers, woman killers, all this sort of thing. People that we call nonsense, right? I don't want to sit around about them, right? That turns my stomach, all that, right? Turns my stomach, right? So I was sitting in high security conditions when I was released. And a Tuesday afternoon, I'm sitting there. COVID's just started, so we're on lockdown. And they've opened the door, and I've asked for jam. I said, can I get jam for pieces tonight? And they went, you'll no need jam, you're leaving. Right, now this is 4 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, right? They want to throw me out of prison, and they tell me I've got 6 weeks parole, right? 6 weeks parole, right? I refused to go, right? And I had to actually stay the next morning, right? So as I could get somebody to come and get me, my medication's all sorted out, blah, blah, blah. Everything's sorted out for the morning. I goes out and I goes, right? And I goes to a place called the Dick Stewart Project, which is in Denison, up the hills, right? And it's just like a big house. And I'm in there, but 6, 8 weeks, 10 weeks maybe, right? So the parole's been completed. But what happens is that basically you're kept in and all that, and they want you in for a certain time and all that and whatever. But I reconnected with my ex-missus, and I've known for school. So what happened was we were having to pay hotels, right, 4 times a week, right, so that I could stay out, right, and that's the way we were doing it, right. Now, we're 5 year in, right. I tell you, I was arrested and kept for another 13 months, right, so I was for another issue, and I was back out. Now, I've been back out, right, for 2021, right, so it's for 4 years, right. Now, see, in 4 years, right now, I'm just learning to shop, right. I don't know how to shop, right. People always done it for me, right. I'm cracking at cleaning and cooking and all that stuff, but I don't know how to shop. I'm having to be taught how to shop, and I'm having to be taught that sometimes you need a filter, because I'm like that, and I say how I feel a lot of the time, and a lot of people don't like it. That's alright, that's fine, you know what I mean? But, if they don't like it, it's for a reason. I couldn't care less anyway, I'm not to offend anybody, right? But see, if anybody's offended by it, and I say they're entitled to a comeback, they just need to shut the fuck up. It's as simple as that. But transitioning to prison, there was no transition for me. I was just thrown out, right, into the world, right? So I was. And luckily, my ex-missus was there, and what's happened is she's kind of took the reins of what was happening, and I'm just following suit. So I'm But then comes a time when you're on your own, right? So, and I just let myself go into a black hole. I didn't know how to live. I don't know. Do you know, living was beyond me. Do you know, I was in such a pressurised, contained environment for so long that that's the way I enjoyed living, right? And to the point where even outside I started to live in one room. Now in this flat I've got a big recliner now and I've got a habit of going to sleep on it, right? But I pop it out because I'm big and I put a puffy at the bottom and it like makes a bed when you put the back, right? While I cover all yourself, I've got a grey sorry, right? Like a fleecy thing, a couple of nice cushions. Bosh for me, right? And that's alright. Now, what I need to think to myself is how much energy, right, and time have I spent building that so that I can go to sleep or that I can lie back, right? What, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, right? Why not just stand up and walk next door into bed, right? That's because I'm used to living in one room, right? But see, if you allow that to happen to yourself, you'll end up just building a cell for yourself, right? So I'm practicing using the bedroom, blah, 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 and doing the right things, you know, because I want to just sit and it's easier for me when the door's locked and there's nobody about and I'm sitting myself, right? And it feels kind of prisonish, right? I'm still having to work against breaking that, right? Because nobody's interested in me when I go out, right? Nobody was interested in me, right? And it's terrible because this has happened more and more and more again, right? Actually, it's happened before me, do you know? Just they're throwing people out of prisons, right, with nothing, with a couple of pounds in their pocket, right? Now, prisons these days, this is another thing that I get pissed off about. Prisons these days, right, especially like Berlin, now, when they're liberating people, they give them an naloxone kit, right? Now, naloxone is a drug, it's an opioid antagonist, and it's used for people that are overdosing, right? It's got 5 doses of 2 ml in it, right? And it's got a pre-made syringe with 2 needles and a long box that's sealed, right? It's got the date and all that on it, right? So you have to pop that open and use it. But the thing is that they're giving this to guys, right, coming out of Berlin, right? There's guys at the bottom of the road, right, selling gear, right? And these guys are just squishing this stuff out, washing fucking out the syringe, right? And then fucking using the wee syringe to go and have intravenous drug abuse, right? Which is fucking putting them right back in the lion's den, right? Possibly killing them, right? And prisons think there's a good idea to give these guys this, right? Now, I'm going to be frank. See, these guys, they don't fucking care, right? They'll take the locks on the wall, take it and all that and blah, 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 right? And they'll go out and they'll do what they want, right? Or they'll fucking throw it away or they'll use it for the wrong reasons or whatever, right? And I always tell them when I speak to them, right? Don't ever go using alone, right? And I'll say that in here as well, right? No, that is a bad idea, right? Because if anything happens to you, they're going to be snookered, right? Now, see, if you want to have naloxone and carry naloxone, carry it for the right reasons, right? Because that's what we are. We're lifesavers, right? So we're lifesavers, right? And when it's used for the right things, although you might not get a good response of the person that is using it or you're using it on, it saves lives. Let's have a think about that anyway. But coming out of prison, I mean, it's been a hard slog, right, to get to where I'm at just now, and I've lost a lot in the process, right? So I have. In the last few years, I've lost a lot in the process, right? Now I'm a 53-year-old man, right, that's just found, I'd been in recovery before a long time ago and whatever, and then I went to jail. I'm a 53-year-old man, right, and I'm still have the heat a 20-year-old, right? I'm still learning. Know what the difference is today, but I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to be open and I'm willing to be honest, right? And that makes a difference. But I'll tell you what, prison didn't teach me any of that, right? Prison just fired me about pillar to post, right? At times, and I'll no lie, there was good times in prison as well, right? And you would lie back and go, great wee jail, right? Now, see at that point in time when you're lying in prison and you lie back and you go like, this is a great wee jail, right? Really, you're banging trouble, right? Really, you're banging trouble, right? And you don't even know it, right? Because if you're identifying prison as a great place, right, there's going to be a fucking problem. It's as simple as that, right? And I know that because I've got experience here. So, as I say, I still do have a bit of that institutionalised mindset about me. But when it creeps in, I try and deal with it. So I don't want to go back to prison, right? It gives me the fear, the thought of it, right? Especially courts, dog boxes, all the rest of it. It's a horrible, horrible situation, and I would urge anybody to stay away from these places, right? They're no good. But transitioning from prison to here, it's took 5 years, right? 5 years, right? I'm 53 and just starting to figure this out, right? It ain't good. If you're in prison or you're going to prison or ever, and I hope you don't, right, do what some of my pals done, right, and get into school and learn, right. Now, I didn't bother going to school because I thought I'm clever enough, right. I don't need to do this basic stuff, blah, 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 right? And I kind of looked down my nose at people that done that, right? Nowadays, I realise exactly why they've done it, right? And my pal at Tin Pail TV, he proved that to me. So he did. He proved that to me. And he's an inspiration to me and to a lot of other people, do you know? He's a great dad, he cooks, he keeps the house, blah, blah, blah. He does many, many things, you know, and he came from a hard place, and my hat goes after him, do you know, and I'd ask you to subscribe to him or listen to some of his stuff. Some of his stuff's good, so it is. So, that was that. So I didn't really learn much transitioning wise, but there you go. Let's see what we've got here. Thoughts on national service for the next generation? Yeah, I would have them there. Bang! Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, and I would thumbs up to that one, definitely. Do you know, I wish there was something like that when I was about, I know, Tony, I know I could have went bad that night, do you know what I mean? Very, very easily. Declan Dockery, how are you doing, mate? Gerry, thanks very much, chick. It's Bennett, no, but I will look for it shortly. We got Islands in. How you doing, Howard? You okay, mate? And Chris is a good man. Here we go. Good man. And Roscoe, the muddy fella. Yeah, I was saying to somebody not long ago, I don't know who it was, but we should jump on that, right? Get the 40s on that. And, well, that would be the highest, to say the least. So, so I'm quite concerned that somebody sent me a message right? So I'm going to go and try and deal with it. And I'm going to say cheerioties, right? It's been a pleasure sitting and having a wee chat. And it's been a pleasure listening to your messages, right? Oh, Torquay, hope you're in good health, my man. Yeah, my brother lived in Torquay. Unfortunately, he died with drugs. I know there's a big contingent in there, Glasgow guys. Aye, he loved Torquay. Torquay was his place. He loved fishing and all the rest of it. You enjoy your afternoon as well, Sean, pal. It's good to hear from you. Aye, we'll get it done at some point. So we will. Definitely. So as I say, I'm going to love you and leave yous. I hope you all have a good day, right? Stay safe out there, right? And I'll be back very, very, very soon, right? Take care, Gerry. Okay, chick. Thanks very much, right? God bless, guys.